Yes everybody, welcome back. This is Champion 2D Rob and this is another video. This is my first video of 2024. So how's everyone doing, guys? I hope everyone's having a good year so far. Myself, I've been busy, I've been doing stuff here and there, a lot of stuff in my personal life, just trying to get things in order. But of course, I have been getting stuff, and this video itself is technically not pickups that I've bought this year, as this is going to be all the stuff that I've gotten from Limited Run. So if anyone's familiar with how Limited Run works, it basically runs on a pre-ordering system. So pretty much all the stuff I'm about to show you guys is stuff that I've actually pre-ordered from last year up to almost a full year ago. So none of this was bought recently. It's just a lot of this stuff just sort of showed up in sort of close proximity to each other. They all, every now and again, I get these rushes of deliveries that come in through the post from Limited Run. So I thought, because there's a lot of stuff to show you guys, I thought I would make this its own dedicated video, and then later on I will make another video showing you other stuff I've picked up recently and over the last few months. But I thought we'd start off with the Limited Run stuff because I've got some really cool stuff here, guys. And I guess I'll say this, it's pretty much going to be mostly Switch, some PS4, and one other. So we'll start with the Switch. We'll start with the Switch titles. And the very first game I wanted to show you guys, and I think this is really cool, and I've yet to start the first game in this franchise. So I'm really looking forward to doing so at some point when I get the time. And that is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords. So I have the first game already, but I've not played it yet. I've actually known about this series since it originally debuted on the OG Xbox many years ago. It's been that franchise I've always wanted to play, but since I never owned an Xbox, I've never been a Microsoft guy. I never got a chance to play them, so I'm actually really looking forward to giving them a go on the Switch. From what I can tell, they seem to be, since they were BioWare developed, they're very similar in scope to the Mass Effect series, which I am very familiar with. I love those games, and this is sort of like a precursor to those games, but it has a sort of similar style to them. Very cool sort of action RPG style of titles. I'm a big Star Wars fan as well, so I'm very curious to see what story they tell in these Knights of the Old Republic games. Next game I have here, and this is a very cool one, and that is Spider Saws. Now this game was developed by WayForward, and it's actually a Contra style run and gun side scroller. And when I saw this game initially, I thought, yeah, this is definitely up my street. Everyone that knows me knows I'm a big Contra head, so I was very much looking forward to checking out this game. And you know what, it didn't disappoint. It's a very cool, very much in the style of Contra in terms of gameplay, but it has its very unique style to it. It's very cartoony. If I was to sort of describe the tone of this, it sort of has sort of like a cross between Cadillacs and Dinosaurs and sort of like a Saturday morning cartoon vibe. It does very much have like a Saturday morning cartoon vibe. It's got that sort of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs theme where it's sort of like humans and dinosaurs mixed, although it's not a beat 'em up obviously, but it's very cool. It's very interesting. And when I was playing this game, it did make me wonder whether there was going to be a new Contra game around the corner from WayForward, and sure enough there is. We do have Contra Operation Galuga, which is about to come out. I do have my thoughts on that game, but I'll reserve that for another time. But this is a very cool game nonetheless, guys. This was a limited run release, so if you do want a physical copy, you will have to hunt it down through eBay or whatnot. But or VGP Plus is actually a good place to. I'm not sure if they still have any in stock, but definitely check out VGP Video Games Plus. It's a good place to find sort of aftermarket limited run titles. But yeah, it's an awesome Contra style 2D run and gun. So if that's what you're after, this is definitely one game you ought to check out. Next one I have here, and this is one I'm really chuffed to get. It was actually a title that I was thinking about getting for the Saturn, but because I knew this was coming, I decided to hold off, and that is Radiant Silvergun. Don't really need to say much about this game. I think it's a fairly well-known shooter, quality game. I've actually never played it. This is going to be my first time playing the game. I'm more familiar with its successor, Ikaruga. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. You know, this was, like I say, this was a title I was planning to get for the Saturn, but it's a very, very expensive copy, and I thought I'll just hold off and wait for this one. So yeah, lucky, chuffed to get this one. And the next couple of games here, these sort of showed up together. There was actually a third game that was supposed to show up, but it actually did not arrive. It was missing from the package. I'll get into that in a moment. But the two games I got here is The Legend of Tian, and this is a very cool game actually, and no one talks about this game. It's essentially a 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up, but it's not like a typical beat 'em up. You're just on one plane, and there's a lot of sort of backwards and forwards, but it's a very, very cool action platform beat 'em up sort of title, and it's sort of set in China, sort of during the early 1900s, where you sort of play as this character who's like a local thief / folk hero, kind of like a Robin Hood style figure. It's very, very cool game actually, and I think it's very underrated, and no one really talks about this game, and I do recommend people check it out. It might be something you'd be interested in. There is an Asian release of this, so if you are looking for a physical copy and you can't track down a limited run version, there is a physical available through PlayAsia, and it is in English. So definitely want to check out if you are into your beat 'em ups or platformers, action platformers. Definitely want to check out. And the other title I got with it was Trip World DX, and this is basically a reissue of a very sort of obscure Game Boy title, original Game Boy title that was actually pretty pricey, and it basically got a re-release, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing this one. I'd never heard of it before, to be honest with you, but it looks very cool. You know, it's a Sunsoft title, and yeah, very, very much looking forward to checking this one out. They did also reissue a Game Boy version of this, but I just settled for the Switch version. And the game that was supposed to arrive with these two titles was this one here, and this one is actually the retail release that I actually ended up picking up. So this is Gimmick, and this is another title, I believe is it from Sunsoft? It is from Sunsoft, and this was a NES game that again, quite obscure, quite expensive if you try to go for an original NES copy. And I initially ordered this through limited run, and admittedly I wasn't aware at the time when I made the order that a retail release was coming. So when the other two titles arrived, this was missing from the box, and I got in touch with limited run, told them that this game was missing, and after sending them a couple of photos, they got back to me really, really quick, and they basically offered to send me a replacement game or give me a refund. Because I of course by this point knew there was a retail release of this game, I settled on a refund, and they refunded me the same day, which was awesome. Cleared that up really quickly, and then I went off and bought the retail release of this game. So this is a very cool sort of cutesy platformer type game. It looks really good, I have to say, and I'm really looking forward to giving this one a go as well. I do really like those sort of quirky, obscure platform titles, which is why I went for Trip World DX and this one. Yeah, I remember hearing of this game. I'd seen footage of this game years ago. It looked very good. Never thought I would own it just because, you know, an original cart was very expensive. I thought this was going to be one of those games that I would only play through emulation. But very fortunate that this got a re-release, and I'm really happy actually that in this generation we've been getting a lot of re-releases of older titles. I've been loving it, to be honest with you. There's a lot of stuff that I've missed or stuff that I played before, and just have the convenience of being able to play them on modern systems has just been awesome. I've been loving it, so yeah, very happy to get that as well. Next title I've got here, this is a PlayStation 4 game. And there was a Switch version for this, but I don't know why I just opted for the PS4 version, and I got the Rumblefish 2. So this is a 2D one-on-one fighter. This is based on a series that initially came out on the PlayStation 2, but only in Japan. And I've never played it before. I'm not familiar with the series. I've seen it. I've seen gameplay of it. I've been aware of it for many years, but I never got around to getting an import copy of the PS2 version of the first game. So I settled for this. I went with the PS4 version. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a go. I do like my fighters, so yeah, glad to get that one. And the next set of games here, and this is actually my most recent arrival from Limited Run. This actually came the other day. Really excited. I've been looking forward to this one for ages, and yeah, basically one of my favorite franchises. In fact, this and the next one are just like two of my all-time favorite franchises. So I was extremely happy when they finally arrived. I finally have them in physical form. And the one, of course, I'm talking about, and this one is for the PlayStation 4, and that is the Castlevania Advanced Collection. So there are actually quite a few variant covers for this collection, and for the PS4 I went with the Dracula X cover, Vampire's Kiss, and that's because Richter Belmont is one of my favorite Belmonts, so I went with this one. This is an awesome collection, guys. This basically has so you've got the three Castlevania games that were on the Game Boy Advance, and you also get Castlevania Dracula X, which was on the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. So awesome titles to collect here. Some just essential games, well worth having, guys. Whether you own it physically or digitally, these are just must-own titles, guys. You definitely need to check out the Castlevania games, and the ones on the Game Boy Advance are just must-owns. Now, of course, I wasn't just going to settle on the PlayStation 4 version. I did, of course, get one for the Switch, and I went with the Classic Edition. And as you can see here, this does have a different cover, but it actually comes, this Classic Edition, the reason why I bought this is because not only do you get this cover as well, but you also do get the alternate covers that you can swap over as well. So each cover represents each game in the collection, and it's an awesome little set to have. Really chuffed to be able to get the different variant covers as well. It also comes with a soundtrack CD. Very cool. There was like sort of like a super collector's set, but I didn't really think I could justify the price, so I decided to skip out on that one. But very happy to get the Classic Edition set. Really chuffed. For me, Castlevania really just feels right at home on a Nintendo system, which is why I go the extra mile to get them for the Switch. But I do like to have them on the Sony console as well, just more for convenience sake. But yeah, very chuffed to have those finally. And of course, the other series that I absolutely adore ever since I was a kid. Very happy to finally have this physically. And again, I'm going to start with the PlayStation 4 version, and that is the Contra Collection. Oh my god, like this is just such an amazing collection of titles, guys. Like there has just been some killer collections coming out recently, especially those from Konami, and they really went in on this one. I mean, you've got you know, you've got the two you've got the two NES titles. You've got the original, I believe the original, yeah, you've got the original arcade game is on here, as well as the Super Nintendo game, the Mega Drive game, the Game Boy games. I mean, like, you just can't go wrong. And not only that, but you also have the European variants as well. So Probotector is also on here as well for those of you in the US and other regions that never got to experience Probotector can now do so. And of course, for us Europeans, we now have access to all the Contra style ones that we didn't really have access to prior to that. So yeah, fantastic collection. And as far as I'm concerned, if you are a fan of 2D run and gun titles, this is a must own, guys, a must own. This is a fantastic collection. Oh my god, I was so excited when I finally got this physically. And yes, of course, I had to go for the Switch because, again, like Castlevania, Contra really does feel at home on the Switch, which is why I go the extra mile to get it for that as well. And in this case, I had to go big, and I went with the Uber Collector's Set. Very, very chuffed to get this as well. And I actually forgot to wear it, but I also even went out of my way to get a t-shirt celebrating this collection as well. And yeah, I've got it somewhere. I'll probably show it in another video or something, but yeah, very, very happy to finally get this set as well. Just yeah, just an awesome box with all the I've yet to open it, but what a collection. Had to celebrate Contra, just one of my all-time faves. So this will basically go with my Switch version of the Castlevania collection, and yeah, very, very, very happy to get that as well. Just for me, Contra and Castlevania, just the pinnacles for me of my childhood in gaming. So I have to always go the extra mile for those two franchises. Very, very excited. But before we go, guys, I do have one more item to show, and I think it's a very, very cool one to get. I never thought I would ever own this physically, but here we are. Limited Run reissued this game, and I'm very excited to give it a go. And it's a game that actually originally came out on the Super Famicom. It never got a Western release until now. So this is basically the Super Nintendo version of this game, and that is Rendering Ranger. So for those of you that don't know, this is a 2D run and gun title, and it's a game that I believe came out very late in the Super Famicom's life, and it's a game that for a long time has been super expensive on the Super Famicom. I mean, we're talking about £1,000 for a box copy of it. So I've never been able to play this yet. I've not even tried it on emulation, but it's definitely a game that I've always wanted to play. And as I was talking about the Contra series, you know, 2D running guns are just some of my favorite genres in gaming. So I had to check out this highly regarded, highly sought after, very, very expensive title. So I was happy to see when Limited Run decided to reissue it, and it finally came. So really looking forward to giving this one a go. Yeah, very, very cool. This is an awesome game to add to the Super Nintendo collection. So yeah, chuffed to bits with this one. So that is it, guys. That's basically my pickups from Limited Run. I'm not going to wait too long for my next video, guys. I do have some ideas for some forthcoming content. There will be more pickups coming very soon. I've got loads more Switch games to show you guys, as well as some Saturn games I want to show you guys. I've just got other stuff in the works, so it won't be too long till the next video, guys. So thank you very much for sticking with me. I do appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch my videos, leaves a comment, leaves a like. It's always appreciated, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. I know I'm very inconsistent with my videos, guys, but like I say, you know, I just appreciate you appreciate you guys every time you do take the time to sit and watch one of my videos. So thank you very much, guys, and I will be back soon. I won't leave you so long, and yeah, I'll see you next time.